Hi, in this video we'll be talking about keyword-only arguments. If you haven't watched my previous video on argument matching modes in Python, it's by all means recommended that you watch it first. Now, as the name suggests, keyword-only arguments must be passed by keyword. It comes in very handy if we need a function that can take an arbitrary number of arguments and also can accept default keyword arguments. Actually, this is a typical use case for keyword-only arguments. Have a look at the following example. Here we have a function. In the function definition, we have a star argument that packs an arbitrary number of arguments in a tuple and two optional parameters with the values of 5 and 10. The function is supposed to just print all the arguments out, separating them with spaces. We can now pass an arbitrary number of arguments to the function. Let's pass 5. Func 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. What we get in the output is the tuple into which all the arguments were packed, plus the default argument set to 5 and 10 in the function definition. Now let's pass one argument. Func 1. It's still gonna be packed in a tuple. And now let's use the function without passing any argument. So, func. We'll still have the two defaults there and a tuple at the beginning. Now let's pass 5 arguments followed by the keyword argument set to different values. Func 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now b equals 20, c equals 50. And now let's pass one argument and the keyword argument c set to 80. Func 1, c equals 80. We can also pass just the keyword arguments because the arbitrary number of arguments may also be 0. So, func b equals 0, c equals 0. The keyword-only arguments always follow the star arguments. Here's a function that takes a and b as either positional or keyword arguments, then an arbitrary number of arguments packed in the c tuple, and then two keyword-only arguments, d and e. Now let's pass 1 and 2 for a and b, then 3 and 4 for the c tuple, and 5 and 6 for the final two arguments. But let's pass the final two arguments as positional arguments. Now let's hit enter, and what we get is an error, missing two required keyword-only arguments. Well, it doesn't work because the arguments following the star arguments, which are here, 3 and 4, must be keyword arguments. So these two must be keyword arguments. Well, it's easy to fix. Func 1, 2, 3, 4, and now e equals 5, d equals 6. Naturally, the order of these two doesn't matter. And now we get 1, 2, then we get the tuple. So this is the c tuple, and then we get 6 and 5. So now it works. Now we can also define a function that can take an arbitrary number of arguments, but still takes keyword-only arguments. To do that, we just have to pass a star character to the function. This just means that all arguments after the star character must be keyword arguments. Here's a function with a star character in the parameter list. This means that A and B may be either positional or keyword arguments, but C and D must be keyword arguments because of this star. If we try to pass C and D as positional arguments, we'll get an error. Let's try. Func 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6 and 7 are supposed to be for C and D, but we get an error. Func takes 2 positional arguments, but 4 were given. It only takes these 2 positional arguments. And this is how it should be done. Func 4, 5, C equals 6, D equals 7. And now it works. So all the arguments following a star character or a star argument, which is an arbitrary number of arguments actually packed into a tuple, must be keyword arguments. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, that's it for this video. If you like it, a thumbs up would be great. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos. If you want to leave a comment or ask a question, you're welcome to do so. Thanks for watching.